What's up, friends? It's Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. And today I want to talk to you about why this whole approach to marketing has to include the madness that people find themselves in, why you have to include the misery that people are experiencing in your message. So in marketing, the way it is most of the time is that people focus on what you want, right? They focus on like, hey, do you want, to lose weight? Hey, do you want to make $1 million? Hey, do you want, and they give you all the things that you might want. And then on top of that, they give you the tools and the tactics and the tricks and the strategies to get to the thing you want. But the more I press into this life and the more that I press into marketing and the more that I try to grow my own business, what I am left with is how much our shortcomings, our confusions, our lies, our old patterns and old operating systems are running the show. So what good does it do? What good does it do to pile strategy and topics and strategies and tools on top of an old operating system? What, so I'm going to give you like 7 tips to how to take your YouTube channel to the next level on top of your old operating system where you can't be completely honest with yourself, let alone everybody else? Look, if we are in the tribal economy, which is what I've said for years now, we are no longer in the information age. People don't need more information. What people want now is truth. They want truth. And I'm confronted by, listen, as somebody who teaches marketing, I'm confronted by where I lie. I'm confronted by where I don't always tell the truth to myself, to you, and not just don't tell the truth as in like I make stuff up, but as in where I don't tell you the whole story. Listen, all of us have moments and places in our life where we're like, hey, I'll tell you as much as I want to tell you, but I'm sure as hell not going to tell you that part. And so what we do is we leave out the whole story. Why? Because of fear. Because we live in fear. You don't say the whole story because you're afraid of the repercussions if you do. That's how it is for me. What does that mean? Let's give you an example. So, in the last year, I've said this in past episodes, it's fine, but in the past year, I have had, I don't know the exact number, I've had 3 to 5 months of 5 figures, right? Over $10,000 a month in income. One of those months was over $20,000. That's awesome for me. And on the low end, one of those months was like $3,000, right? That's the truth. That's the facts. I don't want to tell you that I only made $3,000 in a month, right? Because as a marketer, as somebody who teaches marketing, as a person who's trying to help you grow your income in your business, and I tell you I made $3,000, some of you have made more than that. So that exposes me, right? That exposes me. And what I tend to do is just omit that fact. I tend to just not tell you that fact. I can tell you that I made $20,000 in a month, but to tell you in the same year I also had a month where I made $3,000, I don't tell you that part. I can tell you that I made $20,000 a month part, but I don't tell you that I made $3,000 a month part. And you, in your life, see, I think part of the problem of marketing is that we try to put our best foot forward in our business and who we are so that we can inspire others to greatness. But the problem with that is that it's not the whole story. And so people who find our message and be like, oh, I'm so inspired by you, they're actually not getting the whole story. That's a thing, right? That's an issue. That's an integrity issue. So we have to start to, this is why it becomes so important that the foundation the foundation of our marketing come from a place of transparency. Look, at some level, you and I are going to have to decide what that level of transparency is, right? I'm not going to tell you everything in my closet. Some of those things in my closet aren't mine to tell. I'm not going to tell you everything in my closet. But I can continue to push. I can continue to lean into more and more transparency so that you know what's real when you interact with me. Most marketers, listen, for most people who are marketing, you will never know what's fully real. And so they sell you a bill of goods all the time. And you buy those bill of goods because it sounds so good. Oh, yes, this is what I want. I don't want any of this madness and misery in my life. I want all the good stuff. And you miss that in order to get to the good stuff, you have to move through the madness and misery. And so this is why I'm so pissed and frustrated about the state of marketing on a whole. Not to mention how I'm pissed with myself for how I keep finding ways to omit things. I'm like, dude, this is a journey of courage. Do you understand? This is a journey of you pressing into your shit, your stuff, the things you don't want to share. This is a spiritual journey. I've said this before. Marketing is a spiritual practice. My hope, listen to me, my hope, when I press into my truth and I get vulnerable and transparent with you, which I've done before, this is not the first time. I've done this many times. Half of my episodes minimum in this podcast, half minimum, are me telling you where I haven't figured it out. But I just realized there's more and more layers to keep pressing into. And at some level, it's like, damn, like, when does this ever stop? And on the flip side of that, it's like, this is the journey. This is the path to power. This is the path to power. The path to power is not you figuring it all out and having all the answers and making all the money. The path to power is you exposing what is not true in you and working then to find your integrity in that space. I think this is important in the space of marketing because if what we want, it all comes down to what you want. Look, if you just want to manipulate people and have a transaction to make money, screw them, suckers, screw the suckers. I'm glad I just took the money from the suckers, right? If that's your goal, okay, fine. But if what you want, like what I want, is to have meaningful impact and connection, the only way people move out of where they're stuck into where they want to go is to confront the truth or confront the lies. Where have you not been stepping into who you are? Where have you not been telling the whole truth? Where have you been leaving things out of the story? Where have you been putting on the mask or the facade so that others see you as you want them to see you, but not as you are? That's tough, right? That's tough. But this is where we start to get to the rock solid foundation of what you have to offer. What I'm clear of is this. I have been in business for over 19 years. The first 6.5, I was a real estate agent. So I was self-employed. I was a 1099 independent contractor, paid my own taxes, my own self-employment tax, all that stuff. I did all that, right? Then for 5 years, I was an employee as a CEO of a company. And then since 2011, so the last 9 years, I've been in business for myself as a coach, right? As a coach. So for 9 years, I have managed to pay my bills, support my family. I have been able to do that. That is a fact. That is true. And in those years, last 9 years, 8 of those have been under 6 figures, have been under $100,000 a month. They've been over $60,000 a month. So between $60,000 to $90,000 a month is where I've basically lived in the last 9 years. Okay? That's a fact. I don't know if that lands as good or bad to you. It doesn't matter to me. That's the fact. The number that often gets tossed around by people is 6-figure this, 6-figure that. Then some people even say 7-figure this, 8-figure this, but they don't even make 7 and 8 figures. They talk about 7 and 8 figures in their marketing, but they don't make 7 and 8 figures. Now, in the last 12 months, I have been over 6 figures, right? I told you, I've had 3 to 5, I don't know the number, 3 to 5 months that are 5 figures. And my lowest month, $3,000 a month, in a month. But if that is the foundation, that is my fact, that is what is true, that I've made over six figures in the last 12 months. I can work from that, right? Because some of you aren't making 24,000. Some of you aren't making 36,000 a year. And I can help you, right? I can help you because I've made over 6 figures. I do have some facts. I do have some foundation. But to pretend that I'm a multi 6-figure, to pretend that I'm 7-figure, which I haven't done, but it doesn't matter if I've said the figure. To pretend like I have it all figured out is not true. I don't have it figured out. I have figured out what I have figured out, and you, in your business, have figured out what you have figured out, but you haven't figured out the rest. So stop pretending like you have. That advice is as much for me as it is for you. Stop pretending like you have. And just build from, market from, support from what you have figured out. That's my commitment moving forward. That has some ramifications for me. That has some ramifications for what I teach in my programs. It has some ramifications for how I coach in one-on-one coaching calls. It has some ramifications for what I do in my own business, for how I'm growing it. Like, there is, what I've noticed, there was a season of life where I kept building knowledge, right? Gain knowledge. And now I'm in a season, this has been several years now, where I'm now stripping knowledge away. I'm like, nope. Like, that doesn't serve me. That doesn't serve me. I'm starting to strip away all the stuff that isn't me. You understand? Like, many of us in business have padded ourselves. We put this big straitjacket on with lots of padding and pillows of all kinds of knowledge and concepts and ideas about, oh yes, I know all these things, and I've read all these books, and I've been to all these conferences. And we pad ourselves with all kinds of knowledge and insights. And we don't have jack to show for it in terms of our results and our facts. And the sucky part, it's sucky because it's tough. It's sucky because it's tough. But in the last several years, I've started to strip away all of that facade. And what's so humbling and sucky about it is I keep finding new layers. You'd think that at some level you stop omitting things or you stop lying about things. You'd think that's how it is, but evidently I have more layers to go. My guess is so do you. That's the hard part about all of this. Like, how do you lead from your facts? Because some of you are like, dude, if I have to lead from my facts, I don't have much to give. Right. I know, right? That's tough. You're like, hey guys, I haven't produced many results in my life, but I'd like to lead you. I'd like to be a coach. I'd like to be a healer for you. And yet I don't have healed my own stuff. That's tough, right? And so what we do, it's not like most of us, I think, especially in this tribe, most of us don't blatantly lie and say bigger numbers like, oh, I made $50,000 when I only made 20. I don't do that. 95% of my lies are omission, right? Lies that where I don't give you the whole truth. It's not about me committing lies and making up stuff. It's about me not telling you the whole truth so that you can see what you want to see and what I have to offer. Right? When you're a coach starting out, it's most life coaches, most business coaches, most healers. So what would that be, like a health coach, a healing coach? As a healer, you have, unless you're a practitioner, right, where you're actually putting your hands on people through chiropractic or Reiki or massage or whatever. If you're a healer who heals energetically, or you heal people through the paradigm shifts that you help them make, it's easy to just not say the whole story. We don't want to share that we don't have it figured out, because I'm the one that's supposed to be guiding you somewhere. So how does that work? Well, here's what I think. Here's what I'm learning. You have to start to get to a place where you're leading from what you have produced, right? And if you're brand new and starting out, then you've got to look at, okay, outside of this coaching practice, where in my life have I produced a result? What were the facts that helped me produce the result? What did I do? What didn't I do? What did I do that produced that result? And from that, I can say, hey, I'm trying something new. I'm stepping into a coaching practice. I'm stepping into healing, and I'm using where in my life I produced a result before to help you produce a result now. That's it. But to come into a new practice and to try to parrot and say what others say when you haven't done it, okay, which is what in some ways I've done. Like, look, my content model. If you go through my first program, my 6-week program, my content model in the Groundswell Method Intensive, I talk about how to find pillar content, how to splinter that into splintered content, right? I've formed those ideas in the content model from Gary Vaynerchuk and other people who have gone before me in the space of content marketing, because I really resonated with how you could take one piece of content and not have to spend all your time to try to post all. Like, I didn't want my life to be 100% full-time dedicated to content marketing. I wanted to be able to create a piece of content and then grab pieces of it and share it out to the world over the week, the month, or whatever. I wanted to be able to take sound bites and put it in a Facebook ad. I wanted to be able to do all these things without a lot of effort and energy. It made sense to me. I understood it. I got it intellectually. I'm like, yes, that makes sense. Yes. And then I'm like, how can I help you, right? Heart-centered entrepreneurs, find your truth and capture this truth, and then save your time, save your energy by repurposing that content through splintered content on multiple platforms. And if you want to use Facebook ads, right? All that stuff. That's what I teach in my content model. But I don't even do my content model most of the time. What I do, okay, so that being said, do you hear me? That being said, I was like, listen, this is like, let's pull back the curtain. Here it is, right? That being said, what I have done, what I do for 300, I think this is episode 367, what I have done is show up and create 367 episodes of this show that are anywhere from 8 minutes to this one's already at 19 minutes and going. I do know how to create pillar content, and I do know how to find my truth, and I do know how to find the message that matters, and I do know how to think about who are you really trying to serve. These are the facts. This is what I know how to do. And it would be much stronger for me to come to you, at you, with you, to say, listen, I have gone back and read all of the shadow assessments of people who have applied for my program. And the number one thing they say about their relationship to marketing is that they don't like it and they don't know what to say. Everybody that comes through my program says, I don't know what to say. in marketing. I don't know what to say. And what I do know how to do, and why I think my programs resonate with people is not the content model and the strategy of have pillar content and share it to all the platforms and splinter it off and all that stuff, which I do share, which I don't do well. But I think in the midst of trying to cast vision for how we could use our content, what I have done well, and why my programs resonate is because I know how to find my truth. And I know how to speak from what matters to me, and I know who that resonates with. So when people come through my programs and we start to talk about the depths of your message and where to anchor into what matters to you, this is why it resonates. When I created my Groundswell Method intensive program, what I thought people wanted to hear was all the bells and whistles of what's the strategy, Chris? How do I take this and share it on all the platforms and do all the strategies and things? Because that's what I was trying to find. That's where my preoccupation went, was to all the bells and whistles of marketing, the eye candy and the fun things and the things that, fancy people do. And what I discovered for myself, what I've tapped into in my journey is that I don't actually care about those things. I might down the road as I figure out how I more want to play with them. But what has meant the most to me in my journey over the last year, in 367 episodes of this show, what has meant the most to me is me on the path and the journey of pressing into my truth, exposing my lies, and sharing that back with you. This is what I know. This is what I don't know. This is what I've done. This is what I have not done. This is what I'm finding. This is what I'm not finding. This has been 367 episodes of finding stuff, finding truth. If you think that marketing and life and business is about you having all the answers, you've missed the entire game of life. You never have all the answers. So if you never have the answers, then where do you market from? You can't market from answers you don't have. You market from your truth. And this I am finding, and this is what I keep speaking to. And by the way, in the tribal economy, this is what people come to value. They come to value the fact that you speak the truth. They come to value that what they see is what they get with you, that they can trust that you will, even if you omit the whole story, they at least know that you will come clean when you see it. When you see that there is something missing, you're like, you come clean. I trust that about you. I like that about you. This is not the information age anymore where people just want information, right? Because this is my point. Too many people are writing blog posts and creating information from shit they have no idea about. Do you know, there was a while there where I had applied to some big blogs where I wanted to write. I was trying to work my way into online publications like Forbes and Fast Company and Inc. magazine. And you have to build a resume of posting on different blogs to get there. And so one of the sites, I can't remember what it is now. I think it's Lifehack. So I was a contributor for Lifehack. And Lifehack, when you're a contributor for Lifehack, they give you a writing assignment. And the writing assignment they give you is, I'm sure they have a team or a person or somebody who goes out and says, listen, let's rank for a particular keyword phrase in the algorithms. And so then they say, hey, we want 9 to 12 tips on scheduling. So one of the articles I wrote was on scheduling tools, right? Like Calendly, Schedule Once, Acuity. And so, while I used Schedule Once and I now use Calendly, I'm not really a big guru on calendars and online tech things. But I went out being the good boy that I was, and I researched these different things, and I wrote an article that was 2,000 words about, I don't remember what it was now, 10 or 12 different scheduling tools. Guys, do you see what I just said? This is how people are trying to create content. They're like, hey, what pleases the algorithm? What's good for SEO placement? Let's go build a 2,000 word article. And that's an important number. 2,000 words is important. By the way, in their instructions for writing the post, they say you should use these kinds of keywords as much as possible without stuffing it. It's called keyword stuffing. You should use this phrase as much as possible. And if you can use it in a headline of a section, which is called an H2 tag, which is not an H1 tag is the heading of something, and a subheading is an H2 tag. And search engines pick up on H1 and H2 tags. And so there are a lot of people out there who are trying to keyword stuff their blog posts and all their marketing as if this was the information age, where people want information. But that, for you and I in this tribe, that may work for some people, and fine. Okay, fine. But in this tribe, the kinds of people we're trying to serve are people who want change in their life. They don't need a scheduling app. They need to know how to move from where they're stuck to where they want to go. And the only way to move from where you're stuck to where you want to go is to dig into the places that you keep lying to yourself. The places you're too afraid to look. The places you're too afraid to say, this is true for me. And if this were true for me, then that scares me, because how do I move forward? How do I lead in a business where I don't even have it figured out myself? And that's scary to look at, right? Yeah, but it's also freeing because now you can lead from your truth. Now you can lead from what's true for you. Stop talking about all the ideas you've read. Stop talking about all the things you believe. Just start talking from what you have produced. What have you done? What have you noticed? What has life taught you? From your life, not from a book, not from a course, not from a coach. You, what has life taught you? And you will always have something, because you will never have it all figured out. You will keep finding layer upon layer, nuance upon nuance of ways that you keep getting stuck. Ways you keep getting stuck in life. And when you share that with us, how did you get unstuck? If you thought about your entire adult life, listen, I don't care if you're 23 years old. Okay, if you're 23 years old, you've had plenty of life lessons for how you got unstuck in things. But most of you in this tribe, I already know, most of you in this tribe, we're at least like 35 and up. I'm 44, right? Most of us are 35 and up. And so you've had many, many life lessons of how you produced a result in life. How did you get past that place you were stuck? Listen, speak from there. Speak from there. It builds way more trust, way more credibility, and you actually have a foundation to lead from. Now, and here's the good news. Because that's your foundation, as you move year after year after year, you'll keep having new results that you get to speak from. And as you grow those results, you'll be able to speak to a wider and wider audience. This last year was my first 6-figure year. In the last 9 years. My first 6-figure year. It was awesome. It was great. I love it. There were so many good things about it. Lots of things to share with you. Lots of things to teach you from that. And if you're doing $12,000, $24,000, $36,000, $60,000 a year in income, I have something to teach you. I have something to share with you. I have something that life has taught me, because I've been where you are. And I've done something right. I've done something well. And I just get to keep stripping away all the stuff that isn't how I produced the result, to share with you what actually was the thing that I produced the result. And by the way, everybody else is going to try to puff and posture and tell you all the cool things you want to hear. But most of the time, it's a bunch of bullshit and lies. I keep stripping away the lies to try to keep revealing the truth to you. So listen, here's the call to action. If you would like to have someone helping you, guiding you, who tells you the truth, who has been in business for himself for 9 years and keeps increasing results and keeps digging into the lies and sharing those with you transparently so that what you see is what you get and you can trust me, well, then I invite you to work with me, right? You should probably work with me. If you're not producing six figures and you'd like to, if you don't know what to say in your marketing, but you'd like to, stop looking for the people who will tickle your ears and try to 10x your business overnight, and start getting accurate with the truth. Start getting profoundly transparent with the truth, because that is what sets you free. So, what's stopping you? Some of you have listened to the show for a while now, and you still have not applied for my 6-week program. What is that about? What are you contemplating? Is it a money thing? If it's a money thing, let's have a conversation. But when are you going to step into your truth and your important work and finally figure out what to say to the world? That is what my 6-week program is exactly designed to do. It is what it has done. As much as I teach the content model that I don't fully follow, what I do in that program that has been rock solid every time has been you finding what you want to say to the world. That is a result I produce every time in that program. And if you don't know what to say to the world, but you have this important work bubbling up inside of you, then what are you waiting for? Have I not proven to you that I am trustworthy? Have I not proven to you that I have your back? What are you waiting for? If it's a money conversation, right? Like, Chris, I don't think I can afford your program. Well, part of that's on you. Like, figure it out. Figure it out. You have spent money on things in the past and you have figured them out. When you had an urgent emergency, you figured out the money. And what I'm saying to you is I'm not even telling you that you have to like go conjure it up and go do a GoFundMe for it. I'm just saying, talk to me. Have a conversation with me. Like, this is what I want. I have really important work to do in the world, and I don't know what to say about it in marketing, and I really want some help, but I don't know how to pay for your program. Fine. Perfect. Say that to me. Say that to me. Fill out your application and say that to me. But let's go. Let's go. If you guys want to learn more about this program, right? Oh, guys, I just get so intense about this because it's like, when will you step into it? I've stepped into it. I've been in it now for years. And that's just the beginning. Listen, the first time you step into it is just when you start the journey. Let's go. What are you waiting for? The longer you wait to make the decision to go and say what you want to say to the world, the longer you're kicking the can down the road to your important work and the difference you're here to make. You already feel the calling. You already feel it. I just know that when you start to, like, you saying yes to that thing in you, you getting past the money conversation, like, I can't afford it, and, I don't know, I've done this before, and I feel like I shouldn't do it again, and, right, like buying money, spending money on courses and buying courses and programs, and yeah, I get it. I totally get it. What's the alternative? What, are you going to stay stuck? Are you just going to stay there and just slow roll it until you figure it out? Like, listen, it's hard to figure it out for yourself. And for a small investment, which you probably spend more in other things in your life if you looked at it, like your cell phone and whatever else you pay for, you could be set free. It's taken me 9 years in my coaching practice to get to 6 figures. And most of that's because I'm stubborn, right? I'm stubborn, and I probably could have gotten there a lot faster. But I'm learning. But that was 9 years. I don't know where you're at on the journey of you being in business for yourself, but it starts by you continuing to say yes to the next iteration of learning and what's next for you. And like I said, what I know I deliver on in my 6-week program is you figuring out what to say. I help you with that. I help you figure out what to say. It's a 6-week program where we go into depth on all of that, plus 2 one-on-one coaching calls with me. One-on-one with me, where I'm diving into what it is you really want to say to the world and helping you form what that's called. How do you think about that? So listen, my fire and my passion for this is simply because you guys have such important work and you keep undermining and sabotaging it by you not getting in the game. You keep having all kinds of fear about money, fear about what if it doesn't work, fear about all the stuff. Fine. Yes, there is fear. Let's go already. Here's what there is to do if you want to go. If you're ready to work with me, right? I have 5 videos for you at groundswellmethod.com. There are 5, yes, 5, and it is about 99 minutes. Yes, 99 minutes. Figure it out. 99 minutes. You watch more than that on Netflix tonight. I know I do. Figure it out. Let's go. 99 minutes so that you can get the world of what the 6-week program is about. And on the end of that small and short 99 minutes is an application button. And all there is to do is fill it out. And if you have a money concern, tell me in the application. That's it. Let's go. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out with me for 36 minutes. This might be my longest episode ever. But I'm just really feeling the fire of this whole thing. Like, so many marketers tell you the lies and the things you want to hear, and they don't tell you the truth. And I, on the flip side of that, I'm trying to strip away the lies to keep bringing you more and more truth so that not only do you trust me, but that you can see that this is the game of marketing. This is it right here. Because in the tribal economy, this is what people trust. So, here's to you, gang. Here's to you stripping away the lies so that you can keep stepping into the truth, so that your tribe can trust and believe in you as the one to lead them into what's next for them. See you tomorrow.